Aloha. I'm gonna pretend I'm in Hawaii, right? This might be my last day to have my plants, indoor plants, this way. So here's for me remembering in the future. Alrighty. This obviously is not how I've had it, but it is the tail end of moving. So, kind of my style I like is wire stuff, shelving. That's the cool thing that was outside. This mat does wonders, especially in the winter for seedlings or recently transplanted. I have another mat that's skinnier, like that big and like that long. It's way easier. It's like a windowsill seedling mat. This thing is ginormous, and I don't know, I kind of wish either I would have gotten a smaller one or I would have gotten the temperature control, because yeah, sometimes it's warm, sometimes I swear it just turns off. I think it's overly hot sometimes, but so right here I had a tall cabinet with that on the cabinet, and it kind of hung off the end because the cabinet wasn't even that big. And then I had a fan over here blowing on several plants. Yeah, that is a pot holder, like pot and pan rack that you hang from the ceiling. I scavenged it, like that will be useful, but not the rest of it. That is just shelves I took apart. That was outside. That was outside. Oh, these were all outside. Yeah. When I brought my plants inside, I kept them separated, and I sprayed them with the neem oil today. I have a concentration that I mix, and I just follow the directions, and it's only good for like 8 hours. So the more plants I can spray and use up that neem oil, the more thrifty I feel. This is a lesson to be learned. Always stake your elephant ear or begonia. This poor guy, the one that came from my great grandma, busted. It was way too long and like it looked like a vine. I just ignored it. It's just so stinking easy to ignore. This is my Easter cactus, which is different from Thanksgiving and Christmas, but requires similar care. My mom said that she had a Christmas cactus. She'd had it for years, but apparently a dog ate it. I don't know whose dog. It doesn't sound very tasty to me. So when I was repotting this guy, my Easter cactus, I potted one for her. And these are really fun to watch grow. Like, look at that vein. It looks like a vein coming up through the middle. And look at this, like, it's starting to branch out on the existing. Look at that. That's a ridge. That's a ridge on the other side. That's a ridge. And look at how beautiful red. Well, that looks like a bite. It might have fallen. We had some crazy hail. And look at how cute it is when it grows. That's going to be a new leaf. It's beautiful red scalloping edges. Anyway, so one for my mom, one for me. Since it broke, cut them. I have no idea what's going to happen with that. It has no leaves on it. I don't know if it's going to, there's nodules. I don't know if it's going to rebloom. That one looks young enough that it might. These look all hard and woody. I don't know. But I do know that these are gonna root and be super cool. This is how I've always propagated this plant, my mom and I. I put distilled water, RO water, in it. Those are some pretty big, pretty leaves, huh? Look at how big that is. Love it. Okay, next, moving on. Oh, yeah. This is why I haven't done the inside. Well, actually, let's finish this thing. So, I absolutely still need to supplement my light. Colorado, even the shade is bright. But living in this apartment, it's been really weird because, you know, the sun's angles come in at different ways, different times of the year. And sometimes there's a building that blocks it. Sometimes there's just no direct sun. Anyway, so that's a light. It actually is like a bug catcher light, but it's a full spectrum. I don't know. I haven't really used that. It burnt out and I never replaced it. This is my pink light or purple, whatever. Purple blue. This is my grow light. I got it for like 60 bucks from Home Depot. And I do like this light. I'm so lazy and I don't know how long I'm going to be here ever. So I usually just like, I'll put it on top of here and then the lights below will get it. And then here's one of those under the counter lights. Just a typical LED. But it's still light and the plants will take what they need if they can. So, you know, I'm kind of an eclectic grower. They say there's eclectic designers, or I've only heard that with housing decorations, but I'm a definite eclectic grower. I grow a lot of different ways. These are all RO water that I filled at Walmart. And this isn't very much, but it's the only thing that works with my humidifier. Otherwise, I get that white film, which supposedly is calcium deposit. When it was growing in here, I had that fan up on the heating mat in that corner. There's another fan over here that just kind of rotates. And then I always had a fan down here on my classy table. I'd have a taller white fan that would be blowing it out. Oh, and right here, I had another dresser with a mirror that had a clamp light on top of the mirror. So it shone down on the plants, and there was a fan on this end blowing that way. So I'm really big into air circulation because I've learned that. Oh, heavens, this is going to be embarrassing. Okay, not this guy. It's okay. It's not doing bad. This is the second plant that I got at my Orchid Society meeting, which I've only been to like 2 since then. But, okay, so that's probably its birthday. That's what it is. He came to the Orchid Society, Denver, Colorado Orchid Society, I don't know, whatever. And he gave an interesting talk that covered a lot of orchid, like Cattleya stuff. So, in more detail, this guy, where shall I set him? I think it needs something done with it. So I just barely pulled out all the stakes. It had bamboo skewers holding this all up and together with, you know, genius ties, zip ties. But it's in a, like, I don't know, what is that, semi-waterculture thing? And it started, this is the first big growth. Look at, I'm so proud of it. It was a seedling when I got it, obviously. And that is the first growth I think might be big enough to actually bloom. And instead of repotting it, I just cut that edge off. Yep, just cut it right off. And it seems pretty darn happy. I have kept this in a square glass container with water up to about here. Refreshing often. I think that that is an important thing with the semi-hydro method, especially for PAFs and frags. Every day it needs to be flushed, every day. Not so much necessarily with Cattleyas. They're pretty chill, but look at that fat daddy. Meow. I don't know if I want to mess with it this year. I mean, it's tight in there too. I can tell there's a lot of roots bulging, but it seems okay. I got enough to do. It can stay, I think. Alrighty. This is already getting long. Let's cover my jewel orchid. These are just cuttings off of this plant. Isn't that pretty? I tell you what, I love this plant. It's weird though. It really is weird. It can get really leggy. I've had it for, what, 3 years, 2 years? It's rebloomed once. I have not repotted it since I bought it from Fantasy Orchids a while back. And I just have it sitting in this pot. But I think even if I repotted it, that pot that it's in might be too small. And I don't really like the leggy vine look. I got sick of that. But I don't know what to do, and it's not the top of my list. So, moving on. Okay, well, I've had these in waterculture for quite a while. This is my second round. I gave Lynn, my mom, some cuttings that had roots, and I don't know, I didn't give her very much instruction, but so I don't know what she planted them in, but she says they don't grow deep. They sprout because there's so many different nodules on each cane or whatever. That's a fairly new one that I just stuck in. This is more of a semi-terrestrial, terrestrial plant, so it can handle more of the, you know, soilish stuff. But you can see the roots are fuzzy, and I think that a lot of roots are just fuzzy with waterculture. I don't know if those are fuzzy in soil, but yeah. Okay, now moving on. This is my Pilea. I don't know what kind. It's just cool. I like it. It looks like a lily pad to me. It's like cute round with that little dot. That guy looks thirsty. Let's see. Alrighty. It's got roots growing out the bottom. I kind of do like a semi-water culture with this also. So this pot fits in this frog perfectly, and the water sits at the pot or below, and the orchid, this is the Pilea, the plant's roots grow down in it, and it branches off, it propagates itself really, really well. Look at that. That could be a whole nother plant. Anybody want one? Anyway, I gave Lynn one of these as well. I tried it with a wick system for her, but that's a plant. That's a plant. That's probably the mama plant. Yeah. Okay. This is kind of getting long. I'm going to push stop and then I'll do another one.